trade.
Yup, we're going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We must strengthen and expand Social Security. I believe in a Medicare for all single-payer program.
Senator Sanders' spending plan is consistent with his Democratic Socialist platform, and some say Hillary Clinton's economic plan sounds very similar. She has big spending plans in infrastructure and education, plans to pay for those programs with tax hikes on the rich, Wall Street, and corporations. My next guest is Donald Trump's trade advisor, Curtis Ellis. Curtis, glad to see you. What stood out first and foremost in Hillary Clinton's speech today about the economy, obviously heavily linked with trade?
Well, what stood out to me, it was very amusing. She is guilty of causing every problem she claims she's going to solve with this speech.
Take, yes.
The job stagnation, the wage stagnation, all the lost jobs are a direct result of NAFTA and the open door policy to China that the Clintons instituted the last time they were in the White House.
So to be fair, she was not elected. She was there at First Lady. But I take your point. You are advising Donald Trump on trade. Mm-hmm. What needs to be done first? Let's say Donald Trump is in office in January of the new year. What does he do first as far as trade?
On day one, he says he will direct the Treasury Department to name China as a currency manipulator. They are deliberately undervaluing their currency to undersell American producers. You know, it's very interesting. In the speech today, she gave this speech at a company that used to be an automotive supply company. And she said they had to change because business changed. Business changed because the automotive industry moved from Michigan to Mexico because of NAFTA. Now, it used to be they made cars in Flint, Michigan, and you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. But after NAFTA, they make cars in Mexico, and you can't drink the water in Flint, Michigan.
So, Curtis, what do you say, though, when people say to you, the world has changed, right? Since the heyday of Detroit, everything is more interconnected, or are you saying that's our choice?
That is our choice. It's a direct result of government policies pursued by the Clintons that this happens. Look, we have manufacturing in this country. We now have global supply chains, right? Global supply chains is a fancy term for outsourced jobs. Those supply chains used to exist within the Great Lakes states, but now those have been moved to Hermosillo, Mexico.
Cheaper labor.
Exactly. Cheaper labor. And then she says we have to have job retraining. Well, we have to have job retraining, and then the jobs she talks about are the very jobs that were destroyed under NAFTA and under the China policy.
All right, so some work to be done.
Yes.
Very simply put. Curtis Ellis, thank you. Thanks for the time. Curtis Ellis with me there. He is advising Donald Trump on trade. Hillary Clinton says she wants government-provided, tax dollar-paid universal preschool. Dr. Keith Abloh is my next guest. He says, never mind the economics of it. It could actually be